And welcome for your testimony. Yolanda, many thanks for being here. You are one of the professors of Hands for Healing and also Sintergetica practitioner. And I would like you to share with us your experience with Sintergetica and with Hands for Healing and with this integration of many medical systems into one. What is your experience as a testimonial?
Thank you, Maite. Thanks for the invitation. I'm very pleased to participate in this effort you're making to introduce Sintergetics and Hands for Healing in Australia. Well, I can tell you, first of all, Hands for Healing is a daughter of Sintergetics. And what is a Sintergetic? It's a vision of the world. It's a cosmovision. It's a way that you relate yourself with the cosmos. It's a way to see the world and to see yourself in relation with the world. And in an everyday language is the glasses in which you see life. And this is very important because the way you see life is the way you see, understand yourself, your health, understand yourself, illness is what you think about death, life, illness, sickness, health. Everything has to do with the way with the glasses in which you see life. And Sintergetics is a proposition of Jorge Carvajal that he integrated. One of the key words is integration. He integrates most cosmovisions and takes out of them the most important parts that relates to health. He takes, for instance, from the Chinese traditional medicine. He takes from Ayurvedic medicine. He takes from the native tradition, the shaman tradition from the first cultures in many places. Of course, the scientific, the so-called scientific medicine and the systemic method, the quantic physics, the quantic physics, all of that, he makes, he takes what is common to all of them, and out of them, he proposes this way of see life and to understand yourself, that is Sintergetics. And this has been going on for almost 30, 35 years. And then it has its own specific tools to deal with. But then Jorge tells us an anecdote, a story in which he had a lady that he was treating with a problem with the congestion in the bowels that gets so acute that she almost had to go to surgery to unblock the intestines. But Jorge treated her and she got better. Then 6 months passed, she had another crisis, She went back to Jorge, and Jorge treated, she got better. And the third time, she asked Jorge, well, what is it that you do that makes me better? And if you are not here was in Colombia, if you are not here in Colombia, then what happened to me? And he says, he refers that was a very interesting, it made him think, why can I not share with their own people ways to deal with their own health? That is in the back of the Hands for Healings. Is a sort of Sintergetic for everybody. You don't have to be a medical doctor. You don't have to be a physician. You don't have to have any information at all about the anatomy of the body. You just have to learn very easy techniques that we can that are within ourselves, and then lay them out in order to take care of your own health.
Beautiful story. Beautiful story. That was the beginning of Hands for Healing. So specifically Jorge Carvajal and the group of doctors related with Sintergetica wanted to share a little bit more with the people so people can heal themselves.
Absolutely.
And could you share a little bit about your story? How was your entrance to the Sintergetica or Sintergetics world?
Yes, well, I'm a historian. My first degree was history, and I was teaching at the Central University in Venezuela for over 30 years, specifically in the doctorate in history. And then I lived in those days in Venezuela, and then I knew that there was going something very, very wrong. That was the very beginning. I'm talking about more than 30 years ago. Then I had the opportunity in 1994 to spend a year as an academic in the Oxford University. And then that was June, I recall very, very clearly, because it was that what made my turning point. It was not, June 1995 when I was in Oxford, which was almost a paradise. And I was in the highest of my career, a historian and so on. And then there I discovered that I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what, but then I discovered that in Oxford, the houses, they don't have fences, that the windows, they are just crystal clear. And then I discovered that I lived in Venezuela in a jail. And then I said, no, I can't go on like that. Then that was made me question myself. I wasn't the highest, but I knew there was something wrong. And then in the 21st of June, 1995, I was discovering a very Oxford Common, which is an amazing Celtic field, open field. And then I saw, it's, I don't know the name, thousands of birds dancing in a sunset, and an incredible sunset in front of me. I said, goodness me, I discovered the marvelous, the the wonder of nature, of life, of simple things like sunset, marvelous sunsets. I said, okay, I must do something. I went back to Venezuela. That was a year. I went back to Venezuela. And then I said, well, when everything in Venezuela was getting progressively worse, I said, I can't live here anymore. When I have my pension, I'll go away. By then I was married to a my Spanish editor, and then we had the opportunity to come every year to Spain. My mother-in-law was Spanish, was Catalanian, and I came every year. So during 13 years, I came to Spain. I said, this is the place where I want to go. And that, to make the long story short, made me, in 2000, I decided, 2001, I moved to Spain. But I thought that I could do what I've been doing up till then, being a historian, being an academic, because these were my relationship here. But when I got to Spain and I talked to my colleagues and so on, Yolanda, it's very nice that you're here, but then I discovered that everything, absolutely everything I was up to then, I couldn't do it in Spain. And I said, oh, good, and now what? And then I look at my hands and my future is in my hands. Imagine, it was in my hands. And that was the beginning. And then I said, well, I have to study the skills. How can I do? And then I started as a plain chiropractic, massage. I said, well, it's not enough. I need to know what I'm touching, what I'm doing. So I decided to study therapeutic massage. And then I started to study muscles and so on, and techniques, how to do it, how to, etc. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to, it's not enough. I need to study more. And then this is when I did the 3 years of osteopathy. Okay, that made me be serious about it. Okay, but still it wasn't enough. I knew there must be something else. Together with this, I discovered Aikido. Aikido is a Budo, and that do work with the energy in a very serious way. Okay? So I discovered then that we were energy, and that if you manage proper way, you can do amazing things. With a big, young men, I could do certain movements, certain technique, and that's it. Okay, so this was my first contact with energy and doing something with my energy. But that was very, very short. Okay, so I went to Spain. I went to Spain, and I continued, of course, with Aikido and studying osteopathy. And I decided, since it wasn't enough, I decided to, when I finished, I decided to do naturopathy. So in naturopathy, I discovered Chinese traditional medicine. I discovered acupuncture. I discovered nutrition. I discovered Reiki. I discovered reflexology. Podal reflexology. I discovered, well, all the package that comes in 3 years of naturopathy, okay? And then I decided this was very interesting because I picked the things that I was that made me feel more comfortable. One of them was homeopathy. So I decided to study homeopathy. And then I decided to study craniosacral biodynamic. So because I entered in a more subtle way of energy and information. And I opened my clinic. And I had a patient, and I mixed everything. And I had a patient that she told me, listen, there is a fellow that comes to, a Colombian doctor that comes to Spain, and he's like you. It was very funny because you mixed everything. You mixed osteopathy, homeopathy, energy. You mixed everything. It's like him. Well, she was almost a year talking about it, from here to here. But then when I finished naturopathy, I said, it's not enough. I need something else. I need something else. I said, well, probably is that I should go to China and that I need to do traditional medicine like acupuncture in the proper way, because this is it. I always needed to do the things in the proper way. So I started to study Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, because I was going to go to China. But then, before doing that, in that semester, I said, well, since I'm going to China, there is something in Spain I always wanted to do that was Jacob's Way, Camino de Santiago, yeah. Jacob's Way. Okay. So I said, okay, myself on my own, I decided to do Jacob's Way. And Jacob's Way, it was a change. I didn't do the Jacob's Way. Jacob's Way did it to me. So when I came back, I had this patient that's been a year talking to me about this medical doctor. And then she said, Yolanda, how was the way? I don't know. I'm absolutely confused. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what to do. This is I'm in the way. I don't know which one, but I know I'm in the way. And then she said, well, this doctor is this Friday, that was almost nearly 13, 15 years ago. This doctor starts this Friday a new course. And I said, okay, I'll go. And I went, I have been there ever since. Yeah. And I've been ever since.
So you found an integration of everything that makes sense, but in one single practice.
Absolutely. Not only that first of all, I discovered that I didn't have to be a medical doctor, because the way to do it, I have the tools. Well, first of all, I did Sintergetic, of course, and that was a very, very strong formation. In those days, it was more models. It was very, very, those days were very hard. I'm the fourth cohort in Spain. And well, since I stayed there learning and living and seeing how it worked, and I was as well in that conference when Jorge told the story about his patient, and when he decided this can be taught to everybody, because this is a way to teach people very easy ways to awaken what we already have, because we have it. I mean, it's nothing that really, we don't know that we have it because we forgot. And in a way, it's a way to remember. It's a way to remember what we really have. And we have our health in our hands. So it's a way not only to remember, so give you tips. This is the formation, what it's all about. Is tips, ways in which you practice with yourself and you can do it with everyone around you.
Beautiful story. And you found what you were searching for. It's also,
absolutely.
Renato told us that he was in a kind of a search and he found Sintergetica as a synthesis of everything that he was looking for. So it's good that you found it as well. So you recommend this also, for example, for moms. I've seen sometimes a girl just have a baby and he said, what I'm gonna do, how can I help him to be in a better way? So could you use it with a newborn?
Absolutely. This is one of the best ways to do it. First of all, we as mothers have it, it's instinctive. Okay, if your baby has a stomachache, what is the first thing that you do? You put your hand in the tummy. And it has a headache or whatever, what do? You comfort him. You put your hands, this is something that you do instinctively. But what about if you know what you're doing?
What about?
This is something, it's a plus. Of course, it's perfect that you as a mom put your hand in your tummy, in your baby. But what about that you know that the tummy is a center, is a center of energy that is related to another center of energy. And then you put both hands and try to see what is going on, because if there is a pain, it's a congestion. If there is a congestion, that is because it's not flowing. The flowing of energy has stopped. So what about that you do it, of course, from the heart, because hands are centers of the heart, okay? But hands are also centers of the brain. So is to think with your heart and to is to think with your heart. Then you are really very much more effective with what you do, because then you know what you're doing. Then you, from your heart, you follow, helped by the techniques we are going to learn, and then you can do a very, very interesting and a very effective, this is most important, is a very, very effective. You know why? Because children don't have all the things that we have in the head. So they are much more open, and there are energy, and to feel the energy. I had this little girl that she was 3 years old, and I loved her very much. I told that she was like a kind of my granddaughter. And then I told her and said, come on, let's play, because it's like a play. Let's do this. Now let's clap. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now do this. And the girl, the face of amazement, she was so amazed, because then she said, she ran to her dad and said, Dad, look, because for her, that was absolutely a fact. she felt so clearly something that she wanted to share it with his dad. When we don't allow that the brain block that kind of sensation, is amazing. It's amazing because then you really, really, really feel it.
Do you think there is any requirement to do this training, Hands for Healing?
No, absolutely. A previous requirement, not at all. Not at all. Because the only requirement is to be in the present time. First of all, we have to learn how to be ourselves. If we are ourselves and from the heart, which is our starting point, from how do you relate with others? From where? If you do it from the heart, and then you have a very, very easy, because they are really, really, really easy. And then then you can be very helpful. First of all, with yourself. This is very important, because if you feel it, if you feel that, like the girl, that when you activate your hands, and then you do this, and then you feel it, then you know it is true. You know it not because you read it, you know it because you have felt it. This is what is important about Hands for Healing, is that you feel it in yourself. Is that when you know that one of the things you start to learn is that each finger is related to one element. That I forgot the name in English, the meñique, is the pinky, right? Is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. If you know that, and we teach that, and you know that when you do this
mudras,
is a way, is an information that you are with ether and earth. And if you feel that you need root, that you are not quite rooted, for us that live in countries that were not our countries of origin, one of the works was, first of all, is to root in the country we are in. And this helps a lot. This helps a lot because I can do this, which is the mudra of earth, and then from my heart, I go with the earth all around my biofield. And then it's like making an injection of earth, of all what earth means into myself. And what earth means? It means root, it means entity, it means being. This is what earth means. So I do it with my hands, I do it with my heart, I do it with the technique. And these three things all together are really, really useful. You do it yourself, and that is amazing.
It's kind of unbelievable that very simple things that you could do with your hands for self-healing, or for what you were saying. Sometimes people that we are not born in the country that we are living, we were not born here, so maybe we need more grounding. So something very simple to feel grounded, you could do things with your hands. And I could wonder, what about if the person that you are teaching, or they don't feel it, what could you say for them if they cannot feel the difference? I don't feel anything with it. I do this mudra.
There is no way people cannot feel it if you practice. If you do this, this is very, very, very simple. It's no way that you don't feel that is a temperature. I mean, it's no way, no way. Probably you don't believe that this, what you feel, is something more. That comes with practice. But the first thing is that you practice this. You practice this. And then, because this is physics. This is physics. And then you feel the temperature. And if you do this, there's no way that you cannot feel this. Probably your mind is working and saying, this is bullshit. You are not good. There is nothing over there. There's no way. I just would tell them, let it be. Let it be. And believe in yourselves. Believe that we are much more than a body. When we do believe that we are much, but believe it not because I read it, but because I feel it. This is one of the key points of Hands for Healing, is to change thinking for feeling.
Wow.
What is important is what you feel. Believe in what you feel. Because if you only think that I feel, no way. Because then you think I don't feel. But if you really change and start feeling, it's no way that when you do this, you don't feel something. You have to feel something. And start feeling, start practicing with yourself every single day. And then you will see that the path is incredible. Once you start feeling, then you want more. This is one of the key points of this. Then when you feel it, then you want more. Not only you want more, then when you have your kid, your baby, or your friend, or your husband, or whatever, oh, I have a headache, then come on, and I hug him with a mudra. That is the mudra of the hug mudra. Then it's no way that at the beginning, he probably would be all stiff, rigid, but then,
And you mentioned something related with quantum physics. How Hands for Healing is related with quantum physics?
Because the quantic field, the campic field, which is all over, okay, we are just a speck within this all over field, which is the universe. We can call it quantic. You can call it, has different name. Quantic is the modern name, but is the chi, is the key, is the universal energy. This is what it is. This is where it all comes from. Okay, and we as an individual have appropriated of the energy of this quantic field, and we are one speck of that. And the relationship is that when you know, I always give this example. It's like a drop. A drop of an ocean is just a drop. Okay, it's a simple drop. But the drop within the ocean has all the potential of the ocean. This happens exactly with us. We are a drop that we have been separated. But when we connect with this field, then we have all the potential of the field. This is what the people call miracles. What explains miracles, if not the connections that the drop is part of the ocean, and within the ocean has all these strengths of the ocean.
And also you mentioned this is, the shamanism is also within the synthesis and the integration in Hands for Healing. How shamanism is involved in this practice?
It is because, very simple, because it's the relation with nature, with earth, with Mother Earth, okay? It's the relation with the stars, with the plants, with the way they do their medicine. We stay with the groups in the Cayaguayas, and we stay with them a small time, and then it's the way how they relate with nature. And consider the person not separated of the nature. Is part, is a key part of nature is so they have is respect, is the way that they feel with all the spirits. The spirit's way is really very interesting.
Beautiful. And so you recommend this not just for professional health practitioners, also for people not related with professions related with health, like a new mom to take care of the baby. If the baby is already grown up, it could be useful to heal your couple, your partner, yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. This is why is at the beginning was called Hands for Everybody. At the beginning was one Hands for All. Because
what amazed you the most in this practice to be, now that you are also teaching Hands for Healing and you started from a search, now you are teaching it. What was the main thing that makes you think this is it?
The main thing is that I live with myself. I practice it with myself. This was, I said, oh yes, this is it, okay? And before I had all sort of health problems. Now I'm so well, as you can see, I'm very, very, very well indeed, very fine. And because this helped me, one of the things I heard in one of the conferences, the horses conference, he said, health is so important that it's so important that it's not a matter of doctors only. My health is mine, okay? And it's one of the things with the Sintergetica and Hands for Healing is, first of all, is the responsibility that we get with ourselves. Once you live it with yourself, once you have tasted it, when you taste and you know that is true, what is important that you know what is true, that you really now know this is it. I have my clinic is Sintergetic, but when I have certain kind of patients that are very, very complicated, very, very, really complicated in a very bad stage, then there is one technique in hands for healings which is amazing, And I've done it and I've seen the effects. It's called the 3 energies. It's the 3 energies technique. And I've done it, and then you see, wow. So it's no way. I mean, and that's easy to learn. I mean, it's not difficult. You don't have to be Sintergetic to do it. You just have to feel it in yourself, believe in yourself, and then share it. Because this is what we do, we share.
What kind of problems you could fix with hands for healing? What kind of disease or illness, or what it could be good for?
Well, first of all, hands for healing is, I tell you what it is not. It is not a pill. It is not an injection. That I have a pain in my knee, and then I have this, make an injection, and this is it. No, first of all, hands for healing sees you as a whole. You are not a me. You are a person that has a pain in a knee. So this makes the difference. Well, because people say, oh, Yolanda, you will take this pain, in this knee pain out of, I come here because my knee hurts. And I want you to take this pain out of me. This is not how it works. It doesn't mean that you don't look after the pain. Of course, you look after the pain, but pain is a language. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a strategy of life, of the system, that it gives you an alert of much more things that you see in the knee. So when you learn to listen to the language of pain, then you know that you don't go with a painkiller. It's the same with fever. If you have a temperature, the first thing is, when you are in 38, I need
medicine.
A medicine to kill the fever. No, it's wrong. That is wrong. That doesn't mean, I have to be very, very clear about that you don't look after that. Of course, you look after the head, take care that it doesn't stay long, see what is going on, etc. But at the beginning, the first thing is that the fever is a strategy of the system fighting something that is wrong. So let's give the system the opportunity to fight that. If the system doesn't have the strength enough to fight that, of course, you go to the doctor, you get the antibiotic, and so this is the best synergetic way in that case is the antibiotic. Okay? But at the beginning, in the everyday life, this is not it. So let's give the system the opportunity to deal with that. It's the same with diarrhea. When you have your bowels, then let's stop the diarrhea. No, the system is throwing away what is intoxicating you. Let's give the opportunity. Of course, I'm not going to let it dehydrate, of course. But there is this first thing first. First things first. And what is first, when your system has this knowledge, which has it for the evolution. If not, we hadn't survived as human.
So this is not a way to treat a disease in particular. It's a way to treat a person.
It's a way to treat. It's a way to relate with a person. Yeah, and of course we look after in what it shows. It shows in the knee, of course, but you know that a knee is not alone walking on its own. No, a knee belongs to a person that has another knee. So first of all, I try to see if this pain also is probably very much related to a congestion of energy. So let's see if we can unblock that congestion related with the other one, equilibrating, making simple, very simple ways, maneuvers that you harmonize the energy in one another. Then we know that the knees belong to a center, the first center of energy. So, and that first center of energy also has two other points in which it flows the energy, which are the feet. So you help flow the energy that is blocking the knee through the other knee, through the feet, and then we accompany this flow of energy to the first center. And this is the things we learn in Hands for Healing. It's a special, it's like a map. You learn a map of energy in which way to deal, for instance, with the knee.
Or with another part of the body. So you learn
exactly, absolutely,
how to move energy with your hands.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And sometimes the person, it doesn't need to be with you in the same place. You could do it in distance as well.
Absolutely. Well, this is called this is what we call a healing as in distance, distant healing. In that case, is the etheric field, because it flows through the etheric field. And
the concept of we are all connected comes in this distance healing.
Look at this. You are in Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah.
I am in Madrid, Spain. You tell me, and these are two different parallels and meridians, okay? You probably are in night and I'm in morning. So these are two times, okay? And two different spaces. Yes. You are in an island and I'm in a continent. And here we are talking, and we think this is quite normal. Well, exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Hands for Healing will challenge your belief system.
Absolutely, absolutely. The thing is that they've been doing this for 8,000 years or more, okay? I would say ever since the moment when the ape fell down the tree and hurt himself, and they say, oh, this was the first act of healing, of self-healing, okay? And it's been with us ever since. Absolutely, it's been with us ever since. Now we are doing it with more conscious, with integration things, integration knowledge, integration belief systems, and so on. And then this is really very important because we are talking in this web, World Wide Web. But now this goes on. The next step will be that I'll have your image, not in a screen, that I'll have your image right here. Right here. So
the hologram.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this is what it is. This is what it is and has been always. And the people well-trained, these are the healers, well-trained, have been doing this for centuries, millennials.
Yeah. There is a quote that I like that is to see beyond the visible with Hands for Healing. And also that through self-healing, the healer is born.
Absolutely.
So do you think everyone could be a healer, or do you need a specific characteristics or abilities to heal?
We are born healers. It comes in our hard drive. I told you, the egg that fell down.
Yeah.
That was the first act of healing. Okay, and we've been born healers, but we forgot that. And we gradually let our health, our everything outside us. I need a doctor that tells me that I'm fine. I need a scanner that tells me that I'm fine. This happens very often in my practice. I have patients that I've been working with them, and then they go to the doctor and then have the consultation with the doctor. They came back and said, well, how are you feeling? Well, the doctor tells me that I'm bad. And then I said, this is not what I'm asking. I'm asking, how are you feeling? Well, I'm fine. Okay, this is what matters. I have to be very clearly so that we don't make mistakes. This is not against doctors, because Sintergetics includes the conventional medicine, the conventional medicine, okay? It is that it has its place and it has its time. It is only that, okay? And it is, when it's necessary, but not beforehand, that I need someone to tell me that I'm better or I'm worse. Because how do you feel? I mean, tell me, how do you feel? Well, the doctor said, well, okay, the doctor said that he's saying that you have a problem with your knee. This is what the doctor is saying, okay, because he sees a photograph of you, of your knee, but are you a knee only? Okay? The doctor is saying, you are terrible, I see here that your knee is terrible. So you are terrible. Then we've been working with the person, etc. And then it started feeling better. But then he gets with the idea that when the doctor told me that I'm bad, I should be bad. What happens if you do certain things and starts feeling better? This is what this is.
Very beautiful. Yeah. Well, many thanks for being with us and sharing all your story and your experience, Yolanda. It's a pleasure. And well, let's open the invitation to everyone to join the Hands for Healing online training. This year we start in March 2022 and the bookings are now open. would you like to say something to invite everyone and share?
Yes, yes. Yes, I really urge you that you try it. Is something that can, and it happens, that change your life. We have heard so many stories of people that said at the end, Hands for Healing changed my life. And this is true. This is very, very, very true. So it's an invitation to try it. You try it and to see what happens and to see what you feel, which is important. And thank you, Mighty. And I congratulate you because this is something quite something in Brisbane, Australia.
Well,
and here we are. Here we are in this camp, this quantic field. One of the things of the quantic is that time and space doesn't exist. This is one of the ideas. Okay. Well, what we're doing now is exactly the proof that this is true. That time doesn't exist. For you is night, for me is morning. That space doesn't exist. We are here right now. So this is what is
quantum physics tried in the course already. And
exactly.
What could it be for you the concept of health, to finish with this concept?
Health is the key word of health is integration, is harmony. Health is based on five bases, okay? One is nutrition. You have to look after what you eat. This is very important. What you do with it, what you put inside, or what you, is very important. Nutrition. Second, exercise. Because this part of density energy, which is the body, needs to exercise, okay? Third, you need to rest, okay? This is a cycle that it's not a quantity of hours you rest, it's the quality of your rest, okay? It's very important because it gives the system the pause. The rest. You give the system a rest, which is needed to keep doing what it has to do. Okay? Nutrition, exercise, rest. You can call it whatever you want. Mindfulness, pranayama, Zen. It doesn't matter the name you put it. But it's the moment of the day that you look after yourself to be with yourself, within you. And this has to be practiced because we think one thing, we feel another, and we do a completely different one. So, and we have so much training with that, with being disintegrated, that's in the root of all illness, this disintegration. So integrate what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And you have to practice that. And how do you practice? Every single day through breathing. It doesn't matter how you do it, but just do it. It doesn't matter really how much, but do it. 10 minutes every morning to feel with yourself, to alienate, to integrate the three bodies, what you feel, what you think, what you do. Integrate the practice because we forgot it. So it's to remember that. And the fifth is relationship. It's how you relate with. First of all, with yourself. If you don't relate well with yourself, if you are guilty one, I'm guilty, this is terrible because then you are a victim, okay? No, first of all, relate with yourself. Secondly, with the other, but you cannot relate with the other if you don't relate with yourself. And third, with the other. The other, it doesn't matter the name, is that connection with this quantic field in which you really reckon that you are much more than a single drop. This is what it is. And for these five, they are not separated. This is what is health. This is what is health.
Beautiful way to look at as a whole. Well, many, many thanks, Yolanda. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your story, the concepts of Hands for Healing, Sintergetica, the synthesis, the integration. And that is what it is about. So
exactly.
Many thanks.
Thank you, Maite. And this is a kind invitation to all the people that is watching this. Give yourself this gift to see what it's all about.
It is really a gift. Everyone invited to give yourself a gift.
Exactly.
Hands for Healing online training. Book your place in mayogaaustralia.com.